Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Sherry. And if you've watched my other videos, I'm sure you've noticed that I don't do long intros because I literally hate them. So what I'm gonna do is just get right into this video. It's really practical ways to believe in yourself when you don't. So I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've definitely heard the phrase follow your bliss, believe in your dreams, you can do anything you want in this life if you put your mind to it. And all of those phrases are great, and I do believe they're actually true. But the problem with just repeating things like that is that it doesn't get to like the actual like emotion. Like you can repeat like positive messages till you're like absolutely blue in your face, but in my experience, I have had to have like a really like intense regimen to like work through limiting beliefs. And the reason I put so much time and energy into this is because I have been listening and reading self-help books since like the beginning of time. Like I am obsessed. I totally believe you create your reality. Your thoughts are so important. So I understand the importance of belief, and I believe it's actually the primary difference between people that like are successful and those that don't. Because if you believe in yourself and you have like a general expectation of success, I think you can literally follow like any path and see results. Where on the other hand, like if you don't believe in yourself and you're like don't believe you're worthy or have like all of these kind of like limiting like things that we're usually just conditioned to believe, then it's like really hard to like have that same success. So that being said, these are going to be like 5 like really practical ways that I have found that I've been using. I still use them like all the time to sort of like cultivate like a belief in myself. And hopefully some of these will work for you. Okay, so number 1 is focus on your successes. And the reason I say this, because if you don't believe in yourself and you've been trying like so hard to achieve something for like so long, it's easy to like literally just block out like any experience that you've had that was successful. And this is just because like this is whatever your mind is focusing on, like that's what it's going to focus on at the expense of anything else. So it's actually really helpful if you're trying to achieve a goal and like you just don't believe in yourself, like you just feel like a failure. It actually is really helpful to go back and think about like actively think about times that like you have been successful at something. Because I found when a lot of people ask like how can I believe in myself, it's not so much like a general thing. Like it's really usually in regards to like a specific goal. It's like, how do I believe I can become an actor or a singer or like a business person or have a healthy relationship? Like whatever it is, that question is usually in response to a specific area. So if you can just get out of your head for 1 minute and just really write down like times that you've been successful in the past, like times that you achieved something you didn't achieve, or things that you have today that you never thought you'd have. That will help to like rewire your brain to like stop constantly thinking about yourself as just like a failure because you haven't achieved like the one thing that you're trying to achieve right now. So I would actually suggest like getting like a piece of paper or like a notebook or even on your phone and like the little notepad app and just like writing down like at least like 10 things that like you actually either have been successful at or like you are achieving right now, like things that are working out in your life, like areas of your life that you are successful. And look at them like at least once a day, because that it sounds like such a simple thing, but it can actually help like rewire your brain in the present and give you more momentum to like believe in yourself in the areas where you currently don't. Okay, so number 2 is look at your beliefs. Like ask yourself honestly, like why don't you believe in yourself? Like is it because you don't think you're attractive enough, like you're too old, you're not smart enough, you just don't know enough, whatever it is, just like really ask yourself like what is it that is preventing you from like believing in yourself. And I found usually, like, there's many specific reasons that people don't believe they can have things, but it usually is like the core belief is just like this general sense of like, I don't deserve it, or I'm unworthy, or like not good enough. So it's really helpful to just acknowledge that like this is at the core. And believe me, it's not easy to just flip a switch and like be like, oh, I'm worthy, I deserve everything. I mean, that would be amazing, of course. But I found that like simply acknowledging that it's there can actually help like kind of like put things in the open and at least give you like a sort of like chance of like overcoming it. And even just setting an intention to be like, okay, like I don't think I'm worthy, I don't believe in myself, but like I'm going to try to feel like I do. Just setting that intention can actually really help to like overcome that belief. Number 3 is creating the feeling of success. So if you've spent like a long time not believing in yourself and like banging your head against the wall to try to like make something happen and experience like failure after failure, then most likely this is like an unfamiliar feeling. So it can actually really help to like just set the intention that you're going to feel successful even though something hasn't happened. And this is something I first read about in Abraham Hicks, where she talked about the importance of like emotion, and a lot of people put the cart before the horse, where they're like, well, if I like achieve something, I achieve my goals, I achieve my dreams, then I'll get this feeling of success. But actually it's the feeling of success that actually moves that energy and creates the like manifestation in the 3-dimensional world. Now, I'm very spiritual and I don't try to hide it, but even if you don't believe in like the law of attraction, I still think it's worth it to actually try to do these things and like kind of like see for yourself, like, you know, if you see any differences like in your outside world. So that being said, these are 2 methods that I found really helpful in actually like conjuring that feeling. The first one is, this is an Abraham Hicks exercise where you're asking yourself like, what would it feel like to like have this or to achieve this? And then you just kind of like use your imagination and ask yourself like, how would I feel if I actually was successful, or if I like achieved this or that? Like it doesn't matter what it is. Like, some people's idea of success is finding the perfect marriage. Some people want like a $1 billion business. Like, it really doesn't matter what it is, but it's really, when you think about it, everything we want is actually to have that feeling. So if you can just ask yourself like what it would feel like and try to conjure that feeling, this can be like a really beneficial exercise. Another method that I found really helpful to conjuring like a feeling of like success and believing in yourself is meditation. And even if you're not spiritual, I really think it's worth trying. If you're not spiritual, you can just like fast forward this part, but it really helps to just find like a time of day where you can just like block out the outside world of all these like familiar feelings of like not feeling like you've achieved what you want and feeling like a failure, etc. And just like kind of go inward and ask yourself, well, what would my ideal world feel like if I was successful and I believed myself and I was achieving my dreams? I do have another video where I go into depth of this, but the one that meditation that I found really helpful is a Joe Dispenza meditation. It's from week 1 of Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. But that's just me. Like, there are so many YouTube videos out there and guided meditations. So I really suggest, like, if you're trying to believe in yourself, like, give it a chance. Like, go on YouTube and see if you can find like a guided meditation. It doesn't matter, like the meditation doesn't so much matter, but like it's like whatever works for you, whatever gets you to like that feeling of success. And another way that can be really helpful to conjure the feeling of success is to just kind of like go back to like daydreaming. Like, I know as children, like I'm sure you remember where like daydreaming was like probably a much more normal thing. Like, I think it's actually really natural as humans to do this, but we've kind of been like trained out of it. We've been taught it's not important. But And if we do daydream, it's usually just like worrying about like worst case scenarios, etc. But if you can just actively just like try to find a space during the day where you can just like actively be like, well, let's just like let my mind wander to like a better place where like I believe in myself, you know, and like I feel successful, and what would that look like? Who would I be around? Like, etc. You know, stuff like that. I know it sounds silly, but like just try it and see what happens. Okay, so number 4, and this is a huge one, is like really try. If you don't believe in yourself, like really try to not compare yourself to other people, because that's a recipe for misery. Like if you're looking at other people who have like achieved things you don't want to achieve, and like maybe they're younger, or you think they have some advantage that you don't, like you are just asking to just not be like a happy person. Like, and I know this is easier said than done. Like it's really easy. Like of course, like we're kind of hardwired to look around like the world and be like, well, this person has this and this person does that. But like if you just have an active intention to be like, okay, I'm gonna try to like not compare myself to others as much, or like I'm really gonna actively like try not to do it at all, it will have an effect. I promise you, like it will improve your state of mind. Number 5 is really try to leave age out of the equation, because and this one is hard, believe me. Like people are obsessed with age and not in a good way. I've literally talked to like 25-year-olds who have told me they're never gonna like achieve like acting success because they're like past the prime. And this is really sad, because yes, like a lot of people, they do make it in a young age, or they're able to like start their careers at a young age and achieve success. But that doesn't mean that you have to. Like some people just like they don't have the same opportunities, and that's okay. But like there's no reason to be obsessed with your age, because there are always outliers. There are always people that have like achieved things past the age where they were supposed to. And if you are obsessed with age, like I suggest finding people that like overcame that. And also like if no one else ever has become successful at your age, like be the outlier, be the person who can like pave that path, because like there's no reason for believing that like you can achieve something past a certain age. Like if you're here on this planet, like there's still hope. So that's all I got with that one. Okay, so number 6 is to set smaller, less resistant goals. So if you have like a really large goal and it's really hard to believe that you can ever achieve it, break it down to like smaller, more achievable goals that you can achieve and you know you can achieve and you can reward yourself for. For example, like if you're like 70 pounds overweight, like lose 5 pounds and reward yourself for it and feel good about it, and know that like you're on the path to success. Like I see so many people like they don't want to like give themselves any like reward or recognition, and I'm guilty of it too, because like as an overachiever, like you want the ultimate goal, but it's important to like acknowledge the smaller goals. Like, you know, like give yourself credit for what you have accomplished. Give yourself a list of like goals that you know you can achieve if you put in the time and energy, and like reward yourself for them, because ultimately by rewarding them by rewarding yourself for those smaller goals, you're actually giving yourself more momentum to achieve the larger goals. So number 7 is stop taking so much action. I know every guru in the world, or a lot of them, talk about like the importance of like action, massive action, I think it's called today. And I'm not saying that action isn't important, but if you are taking action after action and not achieving something, then you have to look elsewhere. Like it's not that you are not capable of something, but like something's not in a line. And that's usually you don't believe in yourself. So I'm gonna get spiritual again. And I'm going to give credit because Abraham Hicks really taught me about this, but like there's a difference between forced and inspired action, and I think it's not talked about enough. Because forced action is basically it's action taken as a result of like frustration. Like you don't know what to do, so you're looking like outside yourself to like everyone in the world to be like, okay, what do I need to do to like accomplish this? So you're like taking these steps, and then inevitably it results in another failure. So you think of yourself as unsuccessful again, you try another action and it doesn't work. The problem with this is that it actually reinforces a feeling of like not believing in yourself. So the primary difference between forced and inspired action is that inspired action comes as a result of actually taking the time to like really try to believe in yourself and your own abilities. And then sort of like allowing the path to just light up for you. So inspired action is something that comes about over like practice feeling of like a belief in success. It feels fun, it feels natural, it doesn't feel like you're like forcing it to try to make something happen. It just feels like it's a natural course of events. And this is very different than like the action that comes from like a result of just like not believing in yourself and trying to make something happen. So in my life, I've experienced both kinds of actions. 10 years ago, I was just as like ambitious and like trying to like achieve things as I am today. But I really, really didn't believe in myself at all. So I tried to take like action after action. I read like every book, like, you know, I would look for gurus that were like, this is the path. And it just never panned out for whatever reason. It really wasn't until I started to like work on the level of belief and like trying to like believe in myself and my abilities that I saw any kind of like change in the outside world. And that's a big part of why I make these videos, because I know I'm not the only one that has like experienced this. And if I can help anyone who's like going through like a similar situation, that's great. And also like if you have like had some other insights that have worked with you, please share them. Like I am always open to new ideas.